Hello, Squeak Freaks. Hi. This is your boy, Dave Squeaky. It sounds like a beginning of a rap video. Your boy, Dave Squeaky Wheels and shit. So I'm like the worst hype man ever. This is actually going to be a special podcast. I'm going to break this up into two parts. I'm going to just do a little bit talking about Wayne. But right now we have Gad Holland in the studio, who is the epitome of the angry black man, which is completely my fault because I suck at directions, which I would use the excuse it's genetic, but I think it's just because I need Facebook on my phone. I need to adapt to this technology.
You're the just worst person ever.
I know. I honestly.
You gave me directions from Canada side to get here. You do know I'm from the States, right?
I do. And when you said you ended up in the ghetto, I was like, was that like a shock to you? Because you didn't even think that we had ghettos in Canada.
You guys really don't have ghettos. You just have, this is where people who work part-time live. So it's not like a real ghetto. It's just he just doesn't make a lot of money. It's where he lives. It's not like, it wasn't bad or nothing. I didn't see graffiti or shit on fire. Can I say shit?
You can say whatever you want, bud.
Yeah, it was like shit. I didn't see shit on fire. It was just, this is just where people who drive shitty cars live. This is just the area, but it's not like it was something bad because you give the absolute worst directions.
Absolutely.
Like your message to me said, and I quote, "It's a lot easier to get here from the bridge. Take the first right when you get off the bridge, and then come down and make another right, and the parking lot's right there."
Yeah, because it was
on Canada's side, it's two rights.
On Canada's side, I forgot. I didn't even think of it from that perspective. I haven't taken the bridge in a while. I don't travel.
Yeah, for me, I turned a right on College and just drove. Like, I don't think there's any schooling going on this side of town.
No, there is, but it's not the right kind of schooling.
Exactly.
You said you didn't see any graffiti. Like, you haven't been to the right parts then.
Again, it still wasn't again, you said you have to take into factors into consideration. I'm coming from Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
So this ghetto is very subpar if you want to say ghettos. They still look like nice areas. They still look nice.
Well, what's funny, what I think is also interesting too, especially when you look at areas that have not necessarily lower income, but areas where it's like a mixed crowd. Because I was in Buffalo, New York, when I was 18, and I noticed a lot of similarities, like at the spot where you ended up, because literally one street, it'll almost look like Little House on the Prairie or like the Cleavers, you know what I mean? Nice, peaceful, and quiet. There's old people, mowing their lawns and raising their grandkids and, talking about the good old days, which means it didn't involve us. And then, like, 2 streets down, it'll be fucking 8 Mile. And it was like that in Buffalo, and it's like that for some parts of the city, man. It's like...
I still want to get back on the fact that I'm upset at you.
I know, but when are you not upset at me? Because
you're very good at pissing me off on a regular basis.
I know. I'm like your little brother.
It's almost like you're worse. You have a gift in making me upset. Because the thing that made me the most mad was I had to stop and ask a bunch of students where to go.
Exactly.
Once I found a university, because I was going away from it. Your initial directions put me in the exact opposite direction where I was supposed to go.
It's just I wasn't thinking from like your perspective, because it was a right from my perspective on the Canada side. I didn't think about.
But your directions said right when you get off the bridge, make a right.
Oh yeah, when you get off the bridge. From
your directions, you're not even on the bridge. You're just wrong. You're wrong twice. In my directions, you're wrong twice.
It's true, because when you get off the bridge, it's a left, because then you take Huron Church.
Yeah.
Then you make a right.
Yeah.
Then you make another right, and then you find the parking lot.
I figured that out after I asked 3 people.
3 people.
And when I went inside the building, I think just the cafeteria building. I went in there too.
CW.
Yeah. No, not that building.
Not that building.
A different building that had like a cafeteria. And I went to some other building. The bookstore. I went to the bookstore to ask for directions. That's where I went first.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to have like some white guy with an earring tell me. And he's all down to earth because he was like in his 30s or 40s with an earring.
He's like teaches philosophy or
some shit like that. Yeah,
social studies, man.
Exactly. So I had to talk to him. And the thing that made me the most mad was when I finally found that magical parking lot you talked about.
Yes, the magical one.
When I looked up the bridge, I'm to the left of the bridge.
Yes.
I'm to the left of the bridge. Standing in the parking lot. So how in the fuck does a right get me over there? That was what I'm trying to figure out. Mm-hmm. You ass.
It's okay. The fact that you called me an ass proves that you're not as mad at me as you were 4 minutes ago. Because you called me an ass and you've been laughing your ass off before.
Then I get here and there's no one here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, is this podcast somewhere else? What's going on? I was like, no, he's just not here. I was like, wonderful. So I didn't know where I'm going. Now I'm here, and you're not here. And you wheel up the ramp late as hell.
Yeah, I had to take a piss. I drank so much coffee.
I hate you.
I know, but you see, it's okay. We're close.
No, we're not. I don't like you.
Yeah.
Tell me what a mall is. So
The mall
I can
is?
go to New York Fries and get some.
I can take you to New York Fries. Like, well,
Can you?
Yes, I
can.
can.
You actually take me,
I
or
can-
will you
I-
send me to London by
No,
accident?
you'd know if you were in London just because it's different and you can breathe better in London.
And plus Squeaky gave me directions.
Like,
I would still be driving around Windsor right now if I didn't see the football stadium.
Yeah, well, it's there's certain landmarks. I'm good with landmarks, and I'm good with certain things like that, and I'm good with like I'm a very visual guy. So if I have a visual idea of where it is, I can go from my perspective. But I'm not the best with directions. I feel like MapQuest was invented for people like me or like my mother or other people who are terrible.
You could have
at
done
directions.
MapQuest and copied and pasted.
I could have done
that.
MapQuest. I know. I literally haven't been on Facebook. I need to get it on my iPod it was on my iPod, but then it canceled off because of porn. But
Good job.
and I have a ghetto ass phone, which doesn't help either. So I had an issue with I'm not paying extra for internet. And besides, I'm getting a new phone anyways. This podcast has started off great. So it's just like sibling rivalry already.
It's me just hating you.
It's you usually hate me anyways, and I usually find more ways to annoy you.
Yeah, pretty much. Like one of my biggest pet peeves is to be led on a wild goose chase.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of them. Like the last time I was upset like this was I had to curse out another comedian who got me lost in Toledo.
In Toledo?
Yeah.
Holy fuck. What
Yeah.
was that like?
Well, the thing is, I was supposed to meet up with some buddies. We were going to ride to Kalamazoo to tell some jokes, and so I leave the gym and I'm in Toledo, and this is when I first moved when I first started working down there. So I didn't know my way around Toledo, and I was trying to ask guys where should I go, just to kill time before we left. Like, how do I get to your place? One of the guys, this asshole, he chimed in, and I can't read sarcasm.
Yeah.
So he told me how to...
You're like the guy from Big Bang Theory, like Sheldon
Yeah.
Cooper. The guy can't read sarcasm.
No.
No.
So especially when I'm asking for help, don't talk. If you're not helping, just don't speak. Wait till I get where I'm going, then slide your dumb jokes in.
Mm-hmm.
So he gives me directions to his place. He doesn't give me all the directions, so I just figure he'll just update me as I'm driving. So I get sent clear across town, and the thing is, he said, "Hey, come this way," and then puts the phone down and just goes and does other things. So I'm like, "Hey, if you're gonna give me directions, stay on your fucking phone." I'm cursing everyone out, and then it's like a good 45 minutes go by. So I'm driving around Toledo trying to figure out where I'm at, and I just try and say, you know what? Fuck it. I know where my house is in Detroit. I'll just go there.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you. Fuck the show. All this stuff. No, then all of a sudden I get like 8 phone calls. Hey, no, I'm just playing. Blah blah blah. Kiss my ass. I don't entertain that. And then you did the same thing. Just send me on a wild goose chase for no reason because you can't figure out turn around. Because looking from the American side is outside of your perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're all late.
But see, that works both ways because Americans don't know a lot about Canada, so I guess it works both
I would
ways.
hope you know the 4 blocks of this town.
I do know the 4 major intersections of this
But
town.
only if you're facing one direction.
Only if I'm facing one direction from my house to my perspective.
Yeah.
I never once have thought to check on Google Maps or MapQuest.
Or just say, hey, if I was driving, if I was coming home from America, how would I get to the studio?
Mm-hmm.
That didn't factor, did it?
It honestly didn't factor in.
That's why I don't like you, Squeak.
It's okay. You'll like me later when I do other, I don't know.
I know you won't.
Yeah, no. Let's face it. I'm the perfect wingman for you.
No,
I
you're
am.
not.
I'm the perfect wingman.
I would like to hear how.
Because for one, nobody expects it. Okay, nobody expects a black dude that looks like me to have game, which I'm not saying I do, but when I'm on, I'm on. And so I'm like Robert Ory. Like you may not play me through the whole game, but I'm like Big Shot Bob. If you ask me to come off the bench and make a 3 with like 5.8 seconds, I will knock down that motherfucking 3.
Okay, touche. I'll say
Exactly.
that. I will say that.
See, he's smiling, you guys. It's okay.
I still hate him.
He's fighting his urge to hate me and to like me at the same time because we've done a few shows together, and the last show we did, I made Gad. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I did a slave joke that nobody else got because there was no black people in the bar aside from Gad and I. And it like I'm not gonna tell the joke. Like, come and see some of the shows and stuff, but. I did the slave joke and literally nobody laughed, and you I like when you said that, you know, I want to take this moment to say, hey, that was a really good job that you did. Like it was nice. It's nice to get approval from your peers, but I don't know, somebody that I respect as well. I'm not kissing ass, but somebody I respect and somebody who I think is funny. That was really cool. And plus we also I find that we hate a lot of the same things, because some of your rants that you do, I've had thoughts about doing. I've tried to work into bits, but I've never had like an opportunity. Like your rant about midgets, cats, and hipsters are 3 of my favorites.
I think those are 3 of my best ones. Is like thanks. Well, your slave joke was good because it made it like, because the visual of your joke was really funny, and I guess in the stand-up community, to make me laugh during one of your shows, as I guess means a lot to people, because most of the time I'm not paying attention to the show. It's just sorry. I have ADD, so it's really hard for me to sit through a show and then listen to other people. So so when I listen to it and your joke was really funny, and I'm really upset that I don't know if people got it and didn't laugh or what, but I really think it was just because the part of the joke, you're kind of making fun of yourself at the same time. So I don't know if they didn't want to laugh out of you being being disrespectful to you, or kind of like that political correct thing. Like every comic always says that thing. It's like, you make a joke about black people, white people look around and find a black person laughing, so then they have permission to laugh.
Which is why I always laugh even if the joke's not funny.
Exactly.
Somebody might find it funny even if I don't.
Yeah, it's like
I shouldn't have to be your barometer.
Basically, it's white people trying to figure out what's PC and political guilt, and that's always a battle, instead of just going with what your gut told you. So that's why I like that joke. But to talk about my rants, I appreciate you liking like all my dumb rants, because most of my rants is just things that I complain about in my head, and it's been arguments I've had with people that I've won. So that's where I get a lot of my jokes. Just midgets, and everyone has a bit about talked about, like how when midgets try to compare the word midget to nigger, and how it's not has an unfair comparison. Everyone has that. Everyone has a joke like that. But I think mine answers the question on why is midget a bad word.
When I listen to you do a rant, or whenever I hear you stand up, it doesn't always sound like you're doing stand up. It always sounds like you have a problem or an issue that's bothering you when you solve it, because like you go through every single way that you can possibly think, every single angle. Like you remember the pitcher Orlando Hernandez from the Yankees and stuff? Louis C.K. brought this up. He said when he does a joke, he tries to come at it from all angles. Like he'll come at it from like this arm slot, that arm slot, and that's what Hernandez does. But what you do is that you throw literally every single pitch in the book, because it like obviously complements people's styles and stuff. Like some people rant, some people question things, some people just go for the easy joke or the dirty joke, which even that I think is an overused cliche. But what I find with you is that you will look at a problem from every single angle, and you'll like solve a problem, because every time I hear you do stand up, and after you're done, I'm like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. I can see his argument. Midgets should not be compared to black people, because it's completely different. And white dudes with dreadlocks and white people with dreadlocks looks really fucking weird.
It's the dumbest hairstyle, white people. And that's not even a bit. That's just my point of view.
Yeah.
It's just the white people with dreadlocks. If you're a Caucasian person with dreadlocks, cut that dumb shit off, because you look like an ass. The thing is because with black people, our hair is literally a different texture than white people's.
It is.
It's coarser.
It's genetically
so
different.
it's set up to dread. Like if you look at African tribes, there's a bunch of them with dreadlocks. It's just because our hairstyles attuned to that. That's why we have braids.
And people get twisted. It's not what we put in our hair. It's not what we do to our hair. It's what our hair is. It's a genetic thing.
It'll just all you really need is an afternoon and like a couple of twists, and boom, your dreadlocks. With the thing when white people have dreadlocks, like if you take a black guy and he has dreadlocks, you'll see a black guy with dreadlocks at every level of society. You'll see a homeless guy with dreadlocks. You'll see an NFL linebacker with dreadlocks. You'll see a college professor with dreadlocks. You'll also see a guy next to you in the office with dreadlocks, a full piece suit, everything, corner office. He has dreadlocks in there because our hair is designed to say that. You have never seen a white guy with his shit together with dreadlocks. It's always some dumb bum hippie asshole with sandals that goes backpacking in Europe. You've never seen someone that was you've never seen a white guy that's worth a fuck with dreadlocks ever. It's because they never look like. You can have black bummy dreadlocks and you can have black nice monster.com dreadlocks. You can have both. You've never seen nice white guy dreadlocks. Every time you see one, they either look like a caveman or a rescue dog. They never. They always look fucked up. They always look like someone abandoned them as a person,
or like they just left their hair abandoned on some level.
It really looks so like odd. At some level they gave a fuck. They gave up on something.
Such a weird conundrum.
It's the dumbest shit. Every white person with dreadlocks, I try to avoid speaking to them. I really do. They always look dirty.
And it almost goes back to that idea, not just the nature-nurture thing, but I remember I had this conversation with, a former friend of mine in first year. I'm not friends with him anymore because, I'll explain that later. But he started to be kind of a dick. But he said, because we had this debate, because we were watching basketball one time, like not voluntarily, he wasn't into sports, but it was on the TV at the bar and we were just chilling. And I said, because we talked about how there's obviously more black players, there's a lot more black players in all the major sports except for hockey. And even then, it's starting to change, there's more integration. But he said that, because I said, I think it's the reason why, black people, at the time I didn't research it, said the reason why we're better at sports is because genetically we have a predisposition to it sometimes. Like because you hear stuff about like in plantations they crossbreed the strongest slaves together.
We were
and stuff
literally
like that.
bred to be bigger.
And plus too, when you consider the Underground Railroad and stuff, it was a series of tunnels and hidden passageways, but that involved a lot of endurance. That involved a lot of like running for a long ass time.
Cross country running at its finest.
It's at its finest, And I got into a debate with him, and he said, "Well, is that nature or nurture? Is that just because that's what we've been taught to think?" And he kind of, I don't know. I didn't have a lot of good talking points. I would say
it's a mixture of both, the nature and nurture. It's one is nature because of our ancestral history. I mean, we come from the plains of Africa.
Yeah.
So we come from places where speed kills. That's the area we
literally
come from.
Speed kills because you have to hunt to survive.
You literally come from especially like places like the Serengeti. Is that the Serengeti or the Savannah? The big open place was just like one tree, and under that tree is just a pride of lions. Mm-hmm. It's just a big open air, so you have to be able to run and jog and all that kind of shit. Whereas like in European societies, that area isn't like that. It's more mountainy and caves. Yeah. So they spend a lot of time indoors, which is why their skin got pale over the centuries. So that's, the sun hurts.
And also acclimatization and stuff like that. Less melanin and whatnot. I mean, if you talk about Pangea theory, it could support that as well in terms of all the continents being together and stuff. And like obviously,
and Africa was in the center, so humans kind of spread from there. But so that's the nature aspect is the continent that we're initially from supports that type of skill. Mm-hmm. And then nurture, we were once we came to North America, we were actually bred to be bigger and stronger. That's just how we're bred. We're bred to be that way. That's why our legs are a certain shape.
Not yours and my legs, because we're a bad example for that.
My legs are really nice though. I'm a fat guy, but I realize I'm all
We've talked about this.
Yeah, I'm a fat guy, but I think I got a short torso and really long legs. Because height, I'm pretty average height, but when I sit in a chair, I'm way shorter than everybody else. I'm all leg. And then when I sit in a car, I jack the seat back as far as it can go until it stops. And that's how I drive. And at first I thought it was me kind of being an ass, but I realized I think my legs just are that long. So it's like, that's just how my body is set. Like, if I was a girl, I would be a thick bitch. Like, I would be cold if I was a chick.
You would.
So nature versus nurture. And one thing I say, like hockey is the last white people sport. Is the last one.
Maybe luge or cross country skiing.
I'm not counting that bullshit as sports.
That's an activity. That's what you do. That's what you do when you're 5 shots in.
I mean, like, those are sports, but I'm talking about like sports. I'm talking about something that like you go watch in a stadium. Mm-hmm. Hockey's the last one, and the reason why hockey's the last one is because they don't have many inner city school programs with like hockey.
Hockey's an expensive sport. It's really expensive. Like even with PK Subban, like Evander Kane, like they had to, I haven't read their biography in a sense, but I know that with PK Subban especially, the guy that plays for the Canadians, I think he still does. I don't follow
That
hockey.
guy?
The guy from
Is the Canadians the blue and red team?
yeah, it's the
I'm
blue.
trying my best. If it's not Red Wings, fuck it. That's just me with just hockey. If it's not the Red Wings, suck my dick. I don't know.
I used to be a Red Wing fan. I was never really into hockey that much. I like playing it more than watching it.
Their star player is a black dude. For the Canadians.
For the Canadians,
he's a black. But I don't know if he's black. Like I haven't heard him.
He's like.
Is he black, or is he like, or is he like the Canadian version of Sammy Sosa, where it's like he looks black until he starts talking. It's like, oh, he's from somewhere else.
No, he's from here, man. Like,
where here?
Like he's from Mississauga. I believe he's from Brampton, Mississauga. I don't know his biography.
Oh, my bad.
No.
I thought he was about to say Mississippi. I was like, shut the fuck up. I know
no, he's
hockey players come out of Mississippi.
Some do, man. So I never just when you think you've seen it all, like you haven't seen it all, because I'm gonna switch gears.
All right, man. Because if I look this guy up and then he's doing an interview and he fucking sounds like GSP. He don't count.
He doesn't sound like GSP. He sounds a bit like, I don't know. Because there's not really an accent for Canadians. Like, there is an accent, but I find that especially with black Canadians, we like, one of the jokes I'm doing is that I said my ancestors could run and hide really well. That's the reason why we're up here. but
just from the other side of the door, they couldn't tell you were a slave.
The other side of the door, they'd fucking catch me in a second.
Is slaves a boot? I don't know.
Yeah, no, fuck, where was I going with this? I totally forgot. I don't know. Sometimes I just go off on tangents and I forget.
We were talking about nature versus nurture.
Yeah,
nature. Is that what we were talking about?
I can't remember. Sometimes you just forget. Whatever. I'm not going to edit this anyways. You might as well just keep going. But yeah, no, I believe that with him especially too, it's definitely like the integration has helped a bit too, even like with the Ginla or Evander Kane. Because with it being an expensive sport, and the reason why it's been able to expand, I think, is because it's a lot like Canadian basketball players. There's more Canadian basketball players, even though there's like 8 as opposed to when there used to be just 2. It's whenever you can use globalization to help expand or I guess, help a sport. And it's important for, I think, guys, especially for men, to get our aggression out somehow. So any way that you can do that is positive in a sense. But anyway, speaking about nature, because, we've heard this argument about homosexuals and stuff. Now, like, there's more information about, because there is a gay gene. They actually found like a gene for it.
They found one?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there is a gay gene. There's a reason, and men carry it. I've heard it's like an X-Men with the mutant gene and stuff like that. But
there really is a gay gene.
There's a gay gene. There's a gay gene that they've mapped it out somehow.
That's crazy. Like, I don't have the weird thing about a gay gene is just me thinking from a science point of view. Like, a gay gene doesn't make sense. I'm not one to argue against homosexuality because gay guys are great for me. Like,
we've had this conversation because you have a disappointment with lesbians.
I have a thorough disappointment. But gay guys are the shit. Lesbians are whatever. But like, gay guys are the shit. So but me thinking about like a gay gene, like like every creature, every living thing that we've ever discovered or know about. It really only has like 4 functions. It's like live, consume energy, and reproduce. Mm-hmm. And that's everything. That's every living creature's kind of function. It's like, well, we're alive, get some energy, keep going, have enough energy to make more of you, and then keep going. And like that's what goes on. So to have a gay gene, a gene that would make a living organism do something that wouldn't result in making more of your species. That's weird to me. Like, that's kind of odd.
I don't think that it's weird. I mean, I've heard some of these theories where it said it could just be because how nature has a way of essentially not in terms of survival of the fittest, but if there's an issue, it solves it naturally in terms of evolution. I think it's the process of evolution. For one, obviously, homosexuality has been around since the beginning of time. It's another species. It's Alexander the Great, like the Greeks would wrestle naked and stuff like that.
The Greeks was fucking each other all day.
Absolutely, man.
They got more ass than cooch back then. They were fucking beasts.
Well, back in the day, you could have mistresses and shit like that.
And mistresses. There was a whole pecking order in fucking a guy. like back then, like I know back when I was in universities. This is a Canadian podcast. Back when I was at university,
we have colleges too, which is
yeah, you have colleges. But in America, we don't really separate college and university and just casual speaking. We just say back when I was in college. But for me saying over here, back when I was in college, it sounds like I went to a community college. Whereas for me, I'm speaking when I went to Western Michigan University.
Yeah.
So while I'm over here, I have to say when I was at university. But saying university in that text is weird to me. But anyway, back when I was in school, we'll just say that. When one of the women that was on staff that I would talk to a lot, she was reading a book about sex, and the chapter she was reading was about like ancient Greek and Roman like homosexuality, and it was a whole pecking order. It was a thing like it was a big class system. It was like guys with like a higher class or like upper class or something like that, they could fuck someone of a lower class, but they couldn't fuck them. It was like you didn't have if you didn't have enough gold coins, you could only be fucked, but you couldn't fuck nobody. It's like, say for instance, if I was a baller and I went to some dude kind of struggling, like if I was dating him, I could fuck him. But like, you about to fuck me? No, fuck, bitch, you only got 8 gold septums. Fuck you, gonna try to fuck me? You get your broke ass, bitch. You had to bend up your broke ass. Like I couldn't. It would be out of place for him to try to have sex with me, but I could have sex with him.
Wow.
So like just learning about it was a whole class thing was kind of crazy to me. Like they had a whole society and a whole kind of system set up just around just the homosexual community, which was really weird to me.
It's really odd, especially when you think about
weird. I would say interesting. That'd be a better word. I wouldn't say weird.
No, weird is one of those words that can mean something general. It's about the context that you use it.
It could easily be turned into as an insult. Yeah. And I don't want to do that. And that's one thing about my rants and like my stand up. I never want to try to be really offensive to people. I try to speak in a way of honesty and truth and kind of digging for stuff, but I never want to be outwardly insulting. Like I do have like all my rants are insulting, but I don't want it to be offensive or oppressive or stuff like that. Like if I can't do, like if I have a bit about a certain class or a certain group of people, a certain subsect, if I can't do that joke in front of that group of people, I shouldn't be telling that joke. If I can't make that group of people laugh at themselves, then that means I did the joke wrong.
Well, because I think there's, everybody says, well, there's a fine line between what's funny and what's not funny, which I think is more subjective because everybody has something that sets them off. It could be something that's personal or traumatic, and even just with the mention, like, I don't know, but like sometimes if I'm getting off a really bad relationship, I don't want to hear comedy or watch a movie about relationships from the guy. Like I couldn't watch Forgetting Sarah Marshall for like 2 years.
I can't watch that bullshit now. Fuck. Certain movies I don't fucking entertain. Like that. One thing about me is I usually don't watch the movie that wins the Oscar. I still haven't seen Monsters Ball. It's just a bunch of movies that get all the accolades.
You don't want to see Halle Berry's tits?
Yeah, I saw him in Swordfish. So it's like, do I really need to see him again? I already saw him. So it's, to me, it's and then so a lot of the movies, if they don't, like, I'm a dumb guy. So I like dumb guy movies. I want the spaceship to blow up. I want the aliens to die. I want the cowboys to ride off into the sunset. I want the guy to give a thumbs up to the camera and win. I want shit to end well. I don't like movies that have a poignant ending. If a movie has like a fucked up ending where it doesn't end well, I hate this movie. I hate the movie. Like that's one thing I do not like when someone doesn't make it or it doesn't end well. Like a few months ago, I saw Brokeback Mountain. And
I haven't seen that yet.
You haven't seen it yet?
I don't know. I just.
Are you going to see it, or do you?
I'm a little on the fence about that. Like it's not because, like I said, it's not about the gay thing. It's just I don't know if I could watch the sex part of it because
it's not that bad. It's not like they pull their dick out or nothing. It's not nothing. Like the sex scene, it's graphic, but it's not graphic. It's like it's like they fucking, but it's like you don't. It's like Showtime.
Yeah,
fucking. It's not like It's not like a whole sex scene. It's more like a this happened.
Like a softcore porn type of thing.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's not that crazy. It's not a gay fucking movie. It's a gay love movie. So it's like, there's a sex scene in it, but it ain't for real. It ain't like, oh my God, this is crazy. It's just two guys hugging and kissing and shit.
Yeah.
But it's not a big thing. The thing, I liked Brokeback Mountain. Like, I would have liked Brokeback Mountain a lot if the ending would have been something like, okay, well, it's two cowboys, they fall in love.
Yeah,
but
I read a synopsis for one of my classes.
So I don't want to give away the whole movie, but they still have families and shit. They still have kids and of straight life, and then they secretly love each other. That's kind of how the movie is going. The thing for me to really like Brokeback Mountain, if it would have ended where each one of them like told their families, hey, this is my dude. We about to just go to we about to go to San Francisco. We're gonna live the rest of our lives fabulous. If that would have happened, and then the last scene is them driving away in like a convertible Mazda Miata, holding their hands in the air and going on the freeway towards San Francisco. If that would have been the end of the movie, I would have been like, this may be the greatest shit I've ever seen. But it ended all sad. So I was like, fuck, I don't want to sit for 2 hours and then be sad at the end.
It's why people go to the movies, right? They want to see the happy ending. I mean, and
I want the happy ending. I want the spaceship to blow up and all that shit. I want it cool.
It's just a lot of the times with reality, because reality is often not always in the best light.
It's shitty. So why do I have to go to a movie to watch shitty endings? I want happy shit at the end of my movies.
I think it takes just as much innovation to write a happy ending as it does a shitty ending, because a shitty ending is easy to write because you can derive from real life experiences or talk to somebody. Where it was like I feel like a happy ending, you have to tie stuff together, and sometimes it can get cliche, but at the same time, it's also what people want to see, one thing. Second of all, it takes a creative mind to do that, because you have to think of the way in which it will happen. Even if it's some crazy, extravagant way, it's a fantasy. I mean, we're always taught the good guy wins, this happens if you do the right thing. Life's a lot more complicated than that. Obviously, we're comics. We look at things from a different perspective. So when we're shown something like that, and when we're shown the reality, it's hard to adapt. Like when I watched superhero movies when I was a kid, I was always disappointed. Like I wanted to be like them and stuff like that, and I could identify because of them feeling like outcasts and disenfranchised and whatnot. But the biggest problem I had was that I said, even if this guy did try, like if a person like this did exist, he would get crucified, and he would be, he would almost essentially be people's punching bag, and it would essentially be like a beeper for everybody. And they try to do that with Watchmen and like even The Incredibles, like when the guy sues him for saving his life and stuff like that. So in that respect, it's gotten a bit more real. But I think people go to the movies to escape. We do a lot of stuff to escape, and reality is just fucking grim sometimes.
And that's precisely why I want the alien to lose. I want the bad guy to not make it. I want the burglar to not get away with it. I want the protagonist to win. I want the villain to lose. I want, unless the movie is centered on the people doing the bank heist, then I want them to get away. But if the movie is centered on the cop that works at the bank, catch the burglar. I want it to end perfectly for the guy I've been riding with. When I sit down, whoever's the main person in the movie, I'm riding with this guy for the next 2 hours. I want him to make it. I want him to survive. I want him to do what he's supposed to, what he set out to fucking do. And when he doesn't end and it's some sad piano music playing, fuck this movie. Like that doesn't. I don't like that. Like that's me. I like happy endings. I want the guy to win the race. I don't want him to come in second.
I just think
he's grown as a person. Fuck that.
Yeah,
I want him to win.
I think people expect it sometimes, and when they don't get it, like you said, you get pissed off when it doesn't happen. I can see it from both points of view. I can see if the director's trying to make it real and trying to be a reflection of real life, and
if I want to see people not make it, I can go back to Detroit, just drive around. I don't want to go to the fucking movies to see people not make it. That's fucking stupid.
You can see a lot of stuff like that in real life. You don't have to just go to Detroit. Go to a lot of places in America and even in Canada.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was just using that as just a quick example. Yeah. If I want to see shit not work out, I can find shit not working out everywhere. I don't want to pay money to go see people not make it. That's dumb. I want to see shit happen. Some cool shit happen. That's me.
Well, that makes sense.
That's me. I always all my favorite movies is when shit works out in the end.
Yeah.
I don't have any favorite movie in my head where shit doesn't work out at the end. Not one.
I have a couple, but I don't know. I'm trying to think because I'm terrible with titles. I can remember exactly who. Like I have this problem where I know faces, but I don't know names. And I know what the movie is, but I can't describe it sometimes. Like
Good job.
I was having this problem today. I was we were trying to figure out this movie that Bradley Cooper was in. I don't know. She brought it up. So I
What was he doing in the movie?
I forget what happened.
Did he go to Vegas with his friends?
No, not that one. If that was the case, I would be like, you know, I don't know.
Did he take the pill and get smart?
Yes, he took the pill and got smart. I didn't know what the name was. She had to look it up.
My phone's on airplane mode. I told you I'm in Canada. I can't.
I can't remember. I don't remember the name.
Limitless.
Limitless. Yes,
Yeah,
that's the name.
I like that movie. See, and I like the ending. I like Limitless.
I haven't seen the ending, but you can spoil it for me because
I'm not going to.
I'll probably
watch
just
it.
Dude, I'll probably just download it. Who gives a fuck?
Okay, well then you'll watch it when you download. That doesn't mean you're going to skip
it.
watching it. You can download and watch. I'm not going to spoil
There's a lot
the
of
end.
movies I don't
All
watch.
I'm saying is I like Limitless because it ended the way I wanted it to end. That's because he won. He fucking won. That's why I like the movie. He won. Even when someone tried to make it where he doesn't win at the end, he fucking won.
Do you have that same opinion about relationship movies? And I think that's why I kind of don't like them because
I don't like relationship movies because it's always some soft guy.
It's some soft
some
guy,
bitch made dude. That's why I don't like
and
them.
some girl that's kind of annoying as well. And like
yes,
and you brought this up too about men and women having hobbies because men essentially we have our hobbies and like what's your philosophy on that? Because I think it's when you told it to me it was interesting.
Well, guys have hobbies. Women really don't have hobbies. And the only hobbies they really have are like girl versions of guy stuff. But girls like guys like men and women haven't changed much from boys and girls. It's like the same shit me and you did when we was 5. Same shit we do today.
It's just like a different version.
Yeah, it's just a grown up version. Like we haven't done like as a kid. I played with G.I. Joes and Hot Wheels and little toy guns and shit like that. I grow up. I play Call of Duty. And the Hot Wheels, and I just put a new muffler on my car. So it's like I haven't changed. It's just I got the same fucking hobbies I had since I was 5. I just have grown up versions of it. I play catch. I go home. I play turn on my Xbox. I play Madden. Like I've been liking the exact same shit since I was little, just a grown up version of it. And girls, they got the same hobbies too. They haven't really changed from little girls. Like little girls, all little girls had that weird kind of plastic kitchen thing when they're little.
My sister had the Easy Bake Oven. She always wanted to make stuff for me.
Make dumb shit for you, and you don't want to eat this nasty brownie cooked in a light bulb. You don't want this. You don't want to eat, but you do it because it's your sister.
Yeah, and it was made out of love. Yeah.
You know, do you know how many runny cupcakes like my sister fucking fed me out of that death trap box? I had to eat all that bullshit. And now your sister, my sister, they grow up. Hey, you want to come over? I make cupcakes. I bake cookies. Like they cook. They do the same shit. They haven't. Girls. Most girls' hobbies most straight girls, because gay girls' hobbies.
Yeah, we're getting to that.
Yeah, gay girls' hobbies is just girl versions of guy shit. But straight women hobbies. It just they all revolve around guys. Like our hobbies has nothing to do with a girl. Nothing. All our hobbies are just, they're completely separate from what girls do. Like my race car and my machine gun have nothing to do with girls. But girls shit, they bake, they like doing shit, and then even when they say they like reading, they go home and read some shitty, trashy novel, something with Fabio on the cover of it, or fucking 50 Shades of Grey, which is all fucking in sex books and shit like that.
Or like Twilight, if you want to really go back, which I never understood that.
It's all relationship shit. It all goes back to
and a lot of it is not even really that accurate of most relationships, because a lot of the times it's women talking about how men are, and women don't really understand them because we have this kind of contorted communication. Our communication's so fucking tainted. Like in terms of like women that I've dated and like even girls who I have just as friends, I always try. It's tough, but I try. Obviously, my conversations with you will not be the same as with the girl. But it's sad because it can't be. No, it can't be. But I try and be as honest as possible. Like when you really break it down, because there really is no way to be honest with somebody, especially when you're from a different gender, because we don't really understand each other. Like I'll never know what it's like to get a period, and she'll never know what it's like to have a dick. It's just the bottom line. We won't know what it's like to experience, like, I don't know. I thought about that the other day, like what it must be like to be like a chick and to be vulnerable in certain situations. Because I've heard women say to me, "Oh, I don't feel comfortable going out that late at night. I don't feel comfortable going there." I'm just like, why? I fucking walk there all the time. Nothing's ever happened to me.
Because ain't nobody gonna flip over that heavy ass wheelchair, Dave.
Well, I'm
heavy as shit. I wouldn't fuck with you either. I'll leave you the hell alone. I go tip over somebody who's walking. Can't about this Professor Xavier chair. Shit heavy as shit.
I've never once heard of wheelchair tipping ever. Like,
this thing weighs 1,000 pounds. I'm not flipping this thing over.
And even then, I'll go like South Park and get like a tilt like stopper.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't. But that is a factor with girls is that they are vulnerable, and there are shitty guys walking around.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing I really don't have to worry about as another guy walking around. I don't have to worry about some shitty guy coming up to me being shitty. Yeah. And that is one thing I take into consideration. However, girls do need fucking hobbies. They really do, because it's like, they don't have their own thing. Like, all their things are either revolve around guys, or it's just a girl version of some guy
or it's starting, like, or starting some type of drama or gossiping or some type of social thing. And I'm not trying to like sound sexist or stereotype, but everybody does it. It's not like socializing is just something that women do. Guys do it too, just in different ways.
Yeah, guys do it too, but it's like but it's almost like a sport with women. With guy, like, a guy, like, I can work on my car and not talk to a single person for an entire weekend. Girls, they go to hairdresser I would say the difference between gossiping with guys and women, between amongst guys and amongst girls, is guys, we have man laws and we have a code of conduct socially.
Yeah, and in
women
terms
don't
of
have
like
one.
In terms of like what you can and can't do around like if your friend's dating another girl, you do this and you try and help them out. Like we implicitly, I think, almost have this camaraderie and this brotherhood. Like if I'm about to take a girl home, you're just gonna let me do my thing. You're not gonna bother me. You're not gonna leave with me and shit like that. Like women have like these wolf packs.
Women will ruin the night because no one's trying to talk to them.
Yeah,
it's like guys, like we have a code of ethics and we have an honor system.
Oh yeah,
and it's called man law and stuff like that. And recently, over these new TV shows are out and commercials and stuff like that, it's starting like our little society is starting to come to light. But we've had it for years. Women don't have a code. They don't have a social code amongst each other, and it's just simple stuff like, if you notice, just if you watch reality shows
or even like Sex in the City. I've never understood that show. I tried watching it because like somebody told me about it. I watched 2 episodes. I'm like, this is fucking dumb. Who likes this?
I watched it, but it's just all these
don't get
just if you look on TV now, there's no reality show where it's a bunch of guys hanging out.
Maybe Entourage. Well, no, Entourage was a TV show.
Yeah, that was a scripted thing.
That was.
But there's no quote, and we all know reality shows are kind of scripted.
They're all
a
scripted.
lot of
that's why it's not fucking reality.
Yeah,
it's just some genre that they invented.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, my point is like, there's no follow a bunch of guys around all day and watch the drama unfold, because guys don't create drama. It's just because we don't have that type of like our brain is we like, if you put a bunch of guys together, we'll figure out how to team up together and accomplish some shit. Whereas like girls are just naturally kind of catty, so that's what makes your show interesting. Like the fact that there's a bad girls club, they'll never have a bad boys club. That will never be a show, because the thing Bad Girls Club is a big disappointment to me, because the show had a goal and it had a and had a thing at first. Whereas like, you take all these wayward girls, they're kind of attractive, they had kind of trouble patch, you put them together, and then they try to improve them, socially, all that kind of stuff, bond, all that kind of shit. And then at the end of the show, a lot of these girls became better women from the show. That is completely out the window when they realized that ratings went up when the girls would fight. Now that's the whole show. It's just, we're going to put a bunch of girls in this house, fill the house with alcohol, and just watch these bitches just start fighting each other for no reason.
You're setting up a train wreck. And I've talked to a lot of women who have said, I don't like hanging out with other women anymore because of the cattiness and because of all the fighting.
They're not good at being friends with each other.
No.
And the thing is,
there's always this internal competition, I find, which, I find for men it's mostly physical. It is for women, but in a sense of like, oh, that dude's taller than me and he's better looking and he's
we don't even have
dick,
that kind of a competition. It's not even that bad. It's like, all right, well, he gets the hot chick, I'll get the fat one. All right, we're both win tonight. It's not even a big giant competition. But with women, like, they'll fight over the dumbest shit as a group. Like Bad Girls Club, they just fight. Imagine if they had the same show as all guys. If it was Bad Guys Club,
we would fight each other, but then find a way.
No, we wouldn't.
No, I mean like physically.
We wouldn't
physically if like we had something.
We wouldn't.
I don't know.
See, you had to have something. Girls, they don't have anything, and they just start fighting. There's no there's no bad boys club. It will turn into a frat house in 20 minutes. It would just turn to a bunch of guys
like
just hanging out.
Animal House. Like
It would literally just turn into a bunch of guys hanging out, having a good time in 10 minutes. It's like one guy walks in, he looks at one dude. Why are you here? I smoke meth. Why are you here? I steal cars. You want to play Madden? Yeah. That's the whole show. And then at night, you want to go to the bar, go get some chicks? Yeah. Best friends? Yeah, that's as far as guys think, and then that would be the whole show. It's like, well, bad girls clubs. Oh, that bitch looked at me funny. She got the same. Like the thing that I never understood about girls is like, say for instance, if you're at a bar or a club or something, and some girl looks over and sees another girl wearing the same dress she's wearing, she automatically hates that bitch.
Or is at least jealous on some level and
she doesn't
starts
like her.
a competition.
She
no,
doesn't
she doesn't
like
her. She has something that.
But then two guys, if I'm at a bar and I see a guy wearing the same shirt as me, I'm like, hell yeah, you caught that sale too? Yeah. Psh, high five. Now we cool.
Yeah.
Like, because the girls have this kind of weird, it's a weird kind of, ow, they're always ready to pounce on each other. And it's like, I know a bunch of girls that I'm friends with, they say, I don't have a lot of female friends because of catty and blah, 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 and they get to yammering. And then, but for some reason, when I say I don't have a lot of female friends for those same reasons, I'm an asshole. I'm an asshole because I don't have a lot, because I don't like dealing with
standard.
Yeah.
How come?
Yeah. Why am I an asshole for not having friends the same reasons you don't? Because I don't deal with that shit neither. That's the reason why. I may come off as angry or unhappy, whatever. But it's just disappointing. But I live a happier life because I cut out a lot of unnecessary shit from my day-to-day schedule, because I don't really want to put up with, like, a lot of my female friends. It's hard for me to be just friends with them, because if I go 2 or 3 weeks without talking to them, in their mind they're just like, oh, this guy hates me now. Or what if I'm just busy? Mm-hmm. But that's not a fact. It's like, it's been a bunch of times I'll get a phone call nowhere. I'm mad at you. Why? Because I haven't talked to you since like September. I was like, okay, did you call me? You ain't seen shut the fuck up. Like, and now I don't want to be your friend anymore, because this is just unnecessary shit for me to deal with. This is just unnecessary. It's gross.
Well, I feel you, and like, you lived with a girl for a while in college. She was well, this is one of your reasons why you said you were disappointed with lesbians.
Yeah, I had a lesbian for a roommate for an entire year, and living with her is what developed my disappointment in lesbians. It's like there's always
that stupid fantasy with guys. You know what I'm saying?
That's not a stupid fantasy.
I'm not saying that's a stupid fantasy, but it doesn't always reflect
Dave,
reality. What?
Right now, stop talking to appease women.
I'm not trying to.
You are.
No, I'm
Stop.
Not.
Stop it. That stupid fantasy. I love
the fantasy. I really do.
That is a wonderful fan. Don't you ever say stupid.
I'm just saying, like, I haven't met a lot of, like, okay, there's no way I'm rebounding out of this. What I'm saying is that, some of the lesbians that you see depicted on pornos are not actually like that in real life.
Of course not.
And that's
because real lesbians suck. That's why.
Do tell.
Of course the ones in pornos are wonderful, because the real ones stink. I live with them. Literally. I hung out with them for a long time. Some of them really do smell bad sometimes. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that is, but some of them they're just not fun. Like the lesbians in the tapes. And again, I don't even watch lesbian porn because I don't get it. Like, I never, like, that might be a white person thing, where it's like, if I'm at a bar and I see two girls like dancing and kissing, I never thought that was cute to me. Like, two girls at a bar kissing, I'm like, oh, look at it, woo! I never got that, because I can't push myself in that fantasy when there's two girls hanging out and dancing with each other. I never got it. Like, that was always I'm gonna go talk to somebody else at this bar, because I'm not hanging out with these two chicks fishing for attention because they're dancing with each other. But lesbian taste is just, it'll be two really, really cute girls and they're hanging out, whatever. But like, real life lesbians is just like, that's not the same thing. So it's like the fantasy, like, every guy's fantasy is two girls, of course, but it's not. But it's not one girl and one butch girl. No, it's always two dainty ones. It's never a stud in a guy's fantasy.
Or even the submissive one. You know what I mean? That's what we like as well. Like, she'll do whatever you want. It's like your balls and all this other shit.
Well, I don't want her to be submissive. I want her to do it because she wants to, not because I'm like, kind of.
Yeah, I think that's what the appeal is with Asian women. I find, you know what I mean? Like we all know those dudes who are like super into Asian women.
Yeah.
And I like them. It's just I don't, I like the submissive part turns me off in a sense of, it's like, well, if you're just doing everything I say, it gets really fucking
it's just boring.
It's super boring.
Asian porn is weird to me, because it never looks like she's having a good time. She always looks like she's crying. I don't know if Asian girls' cum face is crying or not. But she never looks like she's enjoying herself. It's the saddest shit. I have never seen an Asian porn where she's like, yeah, give me that. She's always like, she's always screaming and crying. I was like, this is aggressive. I don't like this. And everything's pixelated because in Japan you can't show like pubic hair, some dumb rule they got. So it's like it's pixelated and she's crying. I don't like this. Isn't fun at all. I can't watch Asian porn. Like it is on my to-do list to be with an Asian woman, but that's just because I want to complete my ethnic circle.
You have like quota to fill.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
you gotta make quota.
Yeah, I do have a quota.
Gotta fill the rotation.
Yeah, I have Asian, Middle Eastern, and midgets is like the last pieces. Like the last ones is like the last pieces of
Middle Eastern and midget. That sentence was aesthetically pleasing. It's like Asians, Middle Easterns, and midgets. Like it just rolled right off the tongue.
It's the rule of three, man. That's how you formulate the joke. You want to say something funny, you list it in threes, and the third one has to be the funny one. I don't know why midgets was the funniest one, but it worked out.
It did. I think it's
because the thing about midgets is that they're built for black guys to be attracted to them. They all got fat asses. I have yet to see a flat booty midget.
You know what? You actually got me.
They're all packed
You got
down.
me trumped. I've actually never seen a flat one either.
Matter of fact,
I don't know that many. But.
There's a porn star. Her name is Pinky.
The
black girl with the pink hair.
Yeah.
I think she's a really tall midget. And I really do. I literally think she's a tall midget. Like I think she has dwarfism on some level because it's like because she's really short and has a giant ass, but she got really midget hands. Her hands are real stubbly. I think they're just
very
like,
bulky.
It's like the way I looked at her. Her hands are real funny looking. So I think she has dwarfism on some level, but her dwarfism gave her this giant ass, and so she's just on top of the world on like in the porn game. Because I think her dwarfism is a real. If she has it, I think she does. But I don't want to just start saying she does have dwarfism. But she has all the parts to be dwarfy. She has all the parts.
Maybe they just zoomed out a lot with the camera.
No, I just looked at her hands, like, cause she's on the cover of one of the DVDs I got at home. So, and just looking at her, and she was like had her hand up and something. And her hand looks really weird, and it's like, that's the thing I do. I show people like my DVD cover whenever I'm like, I think she's a dwarf. No, she ain't. She just thick. But look at her hands. She might be, cause she got midget hands. She has like mini me type hands. But she's like 4'11", so she's really tall to be a midget. But I think she is one.
I've never like actually seen like her biography. I haven't had the chance to take a look at like whatever she's working.
Google her when you get some free time.
I would Google it. We don't have the internet here, otherwise I'd take a look.
There's no internet here.
No.
There's 6 computers in this room.
No, this one doesn't work, and this one isn't. Like I tried, but I can't connect. It's in the next one. I gotta get the next studio.
Is one thing I gotta figure out in this room is there is a computer in here, and the login and password are taped to the monitor of the computer. If the login and password are taped to the computer, what the fuck is the point of having a password? Isn't it supposed to be a secret? Shouldn't this be in a drawer at least?
I honestly, I don't know. I've been coming here for like 8 years to.
Because you could just not have a password now.
Years.
This is just slowing me down when I turn this computer on. You could just turn because my computer at home, I don't have a password on it. Just turn it on and go. Because I'm not a celebrity. Ain't nobody gonna break into my house and steal it and find a sex tape.
I guess if you're you always see the argument. Well, if I'm not hiding something, it goes back to like the TSA and stuff. Like it's like if it was like, well, if they catch you jerking off, like good, whatever.
Well, it's not just that. I just wouldn't expect anybody to steal it. Because I really don't expect anybody to steal my computer and to steal it to see what's and for me, if someone does break into my home and steal it, they're not stealing it to figure out what's on it. They're stealing it to sell it. So it's not like they'll be grabbing it to download and figure out how can I get Gad in trouble, which is if you steal a celebrity's computer, you'll be grabbing it to figure out how can I get this guy in trouble. Mm-hmm. But they would be stealing it just to resell it. So again, I'm not worried about what's on my computer or nothing. So that's why I have a password, because to me a password on my computer would only slow me down. Like my cell phone ain't got no password on it. Like cause me pushing in that dumb PIN number would just be slowing me down. I don't have a girlfriend. I ain't got nobody going through my damn phone. Like my phone actually is pretty incriminating, but who's gonna go through it? Who's like, there's some girl Like, if I got a girl in my rotation that goes through my phone, well, you could just ease your ass up off my rotation. That's fine. I don't like what's in your phone. Well, stop talking to me. I don't give a shit. Just me. Like, I don't plan my life on worried about if you're upset with me or not. No. If you don't like the naked pictures, you have two options. You can either A, stop talking to me, or B, send me some of yours so I won't have to look at these other ones. So those are your two options. But you don't have the option of standing here getting mad at me, because we can end that now. That's dumb.
Yeah, especially over that. I mean, everybody on some level has something that they're into or that they look at. I understand. Like, you ever meet some of these weird chicks that get mad when guys look at porn? It's like, who are you people? Like, you ever meet somebody who's asexual? I don't even think they're real. I'm like, you're an alien. Like, they're like, first of all, either you're
dumb hipster.
Dude, no, serious. No, I've met like grown women, man, and grown dudes that are quote unquote asexual and have no sexual desire. I'm like, first of all,
dude, what do you do with your day? Like, what makes you get up and go every day?
Well, remember when that one fucking Senator Christine O'Donnell, remember when she said she hasn't masturbated in like some 25 years or some bullshit?
What the fuck is wrong with her?
I love what Lewis Black said. He says, first of all, I believe her. He says, but you gotta touch yourself to know that you're there sometimes. It's just, when people say that kind of stuff to me, I either think, one, they're like there's something drastically wrong, or they're lying. Second, I'd like to go with lying, because I think people lie a lot of the time, especially about sex. Two, you're into some really freaky shit and you can't tell anybody because it's super, super freaky.
Yeah, and you're hiding. You gotta be hiding.
You gotta be hiding something. Or three, you're an alien.
It's like for you to be non-sexual and accomplish that much shit, something's wrong. Because like, what's your motivation to get up and go? Like, what's your end game? Because most here's the thing. One of my goals is to get a muscle car. Right. That's one of my goals, is to get like an old Chevelle and fix it up and drive down the street like an asshole. Like, that's like, like that's one of my goals. But I do understand one of the reasons why I want this old Chevelle is because I can get bitches with it. Mm-hmm. That's one I understand that, and that's
it's
the
like
reason why
you're just dangling the bait, man. You're dangling the bait. You want the fish to bite.
Look, I'm just trying to get a couple more peacock feathers. So I understand that. So that's why I know. That's why I have the desire to get this car. It'll be the thrill of driving a muscle car, and the fact that a girl be like, who is this guy with this car? Like, I know those are the two things. That's the reason why guys go buy nice clothes. We don't buy nice clothes because they keep us warmer. We buy nice clothes because girls like guys with nice clothes. Like, just like there's always a shitty version of something. Like, there's no need to get a mansion. You can live just fine in a fucked up apartment. Mm-hmm. But girls like mansions, so we go for the mansion. Chris Rock had a great bit about that. He was like, if I could fuck a girl in a cardboard box, I wouldn't buy a house.
And every man would. Like,
you damn right.
Every single man in the world would do that, because essentially it goes back to before. Our hobbies are our hobbies, and for the most part we're pretty low maintenance. You can still think about deep stuff, like you can still contemplate other things that you want to contemplate.
But we don't see. The difference is contemplate, like, that's different. Like, men are very simple. Science and dumb thoughts are two separate avenues. Mm-hmm. But for dumb thought, we just love the difference between men and women is men are violently simple, and women are unnecessarily complex. Like, women are complex on some shit that doesn't even they'll think too hard about something that they really didn't need to. And that's the difference between guys and girls. Like, if you can measure, if you can measure brain output on like levels. So for instance, if you give a man and a woman the same test, and we tell them in advance, you only need level 3 brain power to complete this test. A guy will put his brain to level 3, complete the test, and go back to 1. That's exactly what a guy would do. Mm-hmm. A girl, she'll go to 4 to prove something, then up to 7 just to make sure, go over the test 3 times, and then finish it and then go back. Which, if you look at her, like, that's how women think. They'll go above and beyond for no reason. It's, Dave, I know it's been a bunch of times you said something to a girl, something real simple or something, and then she goes, "What's that supposed to mean?"
All the time. You literally all the time.
For no reason. It's dumb. I got into an argument with a girl because I told her I was hungry. I was like, I'm hungry. Just in casual conversation on the phone, I'm hungry. And she said, She said, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? I was like, I just ain't ate since this morning. I was kind of hungry. It's like 6 o'clock. I should get something to eat. Well, if you wanted me to cook something, should have just said it.
Yeah.
Or you could just take your
God.
ass out and go get some yourself.
Dude.
But I was like, I could have just ordered a pizza. I was just saying it because we weren't talking about nothing. I was just talking.
And then you throw your hands in there like, fuck it then. I'll just make my own shit. Or I'll go to Burger King.
It's just simple shit like that. It didn't really, but that's girls thinking way too hard on whatever. Like, it's been a bunch of times I've been asleep and woken up to an argument before. Because she thought of some crazy shit while she was asleep, and now I'm in a fucking argument. Like, that's happened before.
Asleep and woken up. Wow, so you blacked out.
No, not blacked out. I was taking a nap, and she thought of some evil shit while I was unconscious.
Damn.
She's like, just all kinds of shit. So what the fuck was that? I got woken up and said, what the fuck did you mean when you said that thing last week? Mm-hmm. What thing last week? I had to be, remember when you said blah, blah, blah? I was like, I don't know. That's just goofy shit. That's how girls think. I got the biggest argument I got into with one of my girlfriends. I was at the mall, and I went. I spent the whole fucking day with this bitch. So, and again, that's totally against my thought process. I do not like going to the mall, and I'm really against girls dragging their boyfriends to go places that they know they don't want to go. But we should just be happy because we're together. And I would never drag you to some shit I like, and
then as soon as we do that, it's a double standard because
there's no double standard because we don't even ask our girls to go places. Like I would they come and then they complain. Like, bitch, no one asked you to come to Comic-Con with me. No one asked you.
Comic-Con should be something that you just do with your buddies anyway.
It should be, but here comes Susan because she wants to be up. I want to hang out with y'all. Why don't you just go do your own shit? You don't want to be with me? I was,
back
fuck.
to the hobbies, right?
Oh, here you come. And then the first thing I heard mouth, she's just yelling, well, I don't like being here. Can we go? How about you go and I stay because I wanted to, but that's how it is. So
an annoying person like that just ruins the night.
Yes, and it just no fun.
Because like it's true. Like I said, I'm not. Most of the time, it is women who do this. Like almost all the time, because you'll be out somewhere with your friends or whatever, or she gets too drunk, or she gets tired. It's like, I'm tired.
Yeah, girls get really tired when they're not the center of attention. They really like
that's
my
buddy
move.
Was dating a chick like that, and she annoyed the fuck out of everybody. That's
their move. If they're not the center of attention, they'll become tired and need to go home. So then all the attention goes back on them. It's a really fucking selfish move. It's really selfish as hell. Because you could have not came. You could have stayed home and just allowed your friend to have a good time without you. But that's not a part of that's not a part of insecure women's plans to like just go and just to like just have their man enjoy themselves and you stay at home quiet and don't text them. That's really not a part of their plan. They really want to be a center of attention even when they're not even there. But back to me spending all day with this girl at the mall. So I spent all day at the mall and I ducked into a bookstore to buy a hobby. I'm sorry. I
buy a hobby.
Yeah, it's dumb.
I you buy a hobby?
I bought a magazine to support one of my hobbies.
Hobby?
Yeah, so I ducked into a bookstore and I think I bought like a video game magazine and a car magazine. And in that time, for me to get these two magazines, I was in the store, I would say 10 minutes max. She stood out kind of like in the aisle of the mall. While she was there, she got a guy's phone number, right? While I'm in the store. She told me like 2-3 days later that, while you was in the store buying those magazines, I got a guy's number just to prove to you that you don't pay attention to me.
Yeah, just to get you
Bitch,
jealous.
I just spent 4 fucking hours with you doing something I didn't want to do. I take 10 minutes out of that time to buy a magazine, and then you go get it. It just ended up me cursing her out. But here's how crazy she was. She was excited the fact I was yelling at her because it showed me because it was me showing her attention. That's how crazy she was. She called all her friends like, girl, Gad cussed me out yesterday. It was great. Like, that's the weirdest thing. She was excited I was cussing her because in her mind it was me showing her a bunch of attention.
And you hit the nail around the head in terms of like insecure women, because the very, very first girl I dated was we're okay and everything, but like she was honestly one of the most insecure people I've ever met, because I was out one day doing a show, And I forget what happened. Oh, yeah, it's just that she told me that she was hanging out with one of her guy friends or whatever the fuck. And like you said, I didn't care. I said, I hang out with girls that are platonic, and it'd be hypocritical for me to care for you to do that. So I looked at it from a logical standpoint, which I guess was my mistake.
She said it for you to get mad.
Yeah, she did, but I didn't pick up on that because I sucked at reading cues, and I didn't.
It's okay. You're a guy. You don't have to.
I know. Because essentially
that's not your fault.
They want us to understand a language that we've never been taught. We've never been taught that language.
Yeah, it's not your fault that you don't pick up on girls' cues. No. It's girls' fault for just not saying what the fuck's on their mind. It's not our fault. That's not our fault.
Exactly.
You should be able to know what I'm thinking. You should just say it, because I don't expect you to figure out what I'm thinking.
It's hard to read.
I'll tell you what's on my mind. You should be able to do the same. It's 2013. Stop living in the 40s.
Yeah, man. And like I said, that's how she started the argument. That's how she got mad at me. And I was like, why are you getting mad at me for just letting you hang out with somebody? She's like, well, I did stuff. I'm like, well, why didn't you just, if you wanted to do stuff with him, why didn't you just say that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't say that. I didn't have much of a backbone back then, but
now it's
kind of,
yeah, to me like a lot of times I guess you could call it misogyny, but it's just me
well, you said the other day shit. You said the other day, I can't remember the context, but you said I'm too much of a, well, you tell this story.
I'll tell it. It was,
and then we got to wrap up.
It was one thing I noticed with it was a comic was getting heckled the last time I was up here.
Oh yeah.
And it was like a girl was heckling, like going back and forth with chitter chatter and shit, and it's kind of ruining the guy who was on stage. It was just like ruining his, like, what he was talking about.
Yeah, he was having a rough time recovering.
He was having a real rough time dealing with this woman. Very, very difficult.
I felt bad for him, man. I really did.
And then I told you, I was like, my misogyny is so deep. I don't even entertain dumb banter from women when I'm on stage. I don't even entertain that. I was like, just shut up. I have things to say. Just like, that's how deep I don't even entertain your banter as you're trying to interrupt my show. And he was trying to work with her and trying to. I don't even do that. I don't entertain none of that shit. I have something to say. You listen, and then I finish. And then if you want to go back and forth, I'll decide if I kind of want to go in that direction. But usually, just chill out, just enjoy the show.
Well, yeah, and we're gonna wrap this up after this. One of the biggest things, like in terms of female hecklers want attention. Guy hecklers want attention, but for a different reason, just to make you look stupid.
Girls. Like the biggest excuse from women is, I was helping the show.
Yeah, I've heard dudes say that before, but like in a different reason.
But no, it's just no one bought a ticket hoping the drunk bitch would be in the front again. No one bought a ticket with this guy that they like name on it and says, man, I hope that drunk bitch is there again. That was a great show. Like, no, that's just
nobody
not how
comes
it goes.
to a show to see a heckler.
And then the real mess up thing is, women like that make it harder for female comedians.
Absolutely.
They really, because women like that, they reinforce they reinforce the stereotype that women ain't funny, which
isn't true. Obviously,
it kind of is.
No, I don't think it's true.
I'm not saying 100% women ain't funny, but I'm saying in general, there's percentage wise, there's a higher percentage of funny guys and percentage of funny girls compared to the rest of the like the percentage the percentage of funny guys versus non-funny guys is bigger for the percentage of funny girls to non-funny girls. That's what I'm saying. If you just take the population of all the girls and pluck out the funny ones and run a percentage, that number would be lower if you pluck out from the funny guys from non-funny guys. That's just me, because it's like, even at like all the jobs I've ever been to, there was like 4 or 5 funny dudes. Just funny. Will never be a comedian, but just funny in the break room. Mm-hmm. Maybe one out of all the jobs I've ever had, one funny girl. All the jobs I've ever had, just one. But because girls just don't think, like, girls are nurturers, and if you say something too funny, hey, come on now, that's not nice, that's mean, shit like that. But you'll always find a funny guy at a barbecue. It's not often you'll find a funny girl at a barbecue. Not often. You'll find some, but not as often as you'll just find funny Brad.
Do you think that's as a result? Like I said, we really got to wrap up. Do you believe that's a result of opportunity, or just in terms of conditioning? Do you
just
think it's
conditioning? It's not opportunity, because this isn't a poor rich kind of thing. It's just a way.
I mean, in terms of gender bias, though, do you think that plays?
What do you mean that? Since she's a girl, I don't find her funny?
Yeah.
she's not funny, which makes me not find her funny.
But that's my
it's not 'cause
point.
she's a
That's
girl.
my point. Some people will judge up front and say, well, she's not funny just because she's a girl, which I don't think is fair.
No, I wait for her joke to not be funny, to call her unfunny.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
That's what I do. But for some reason, I can't say it even after she's not funny. Because of, you can't say girls ain't there's a lot of girls that ain't funny. There's just, in general, a lot of them, because when I say that there's a lot of girls that ain't funny, there's a lot of girls that ain't fun. I mean, that was the whole beginning of this conversation.
And the lesbian bit too.
Not even just lesbian, but just girls in general. I mean, we were just saying that like having a girlfriend, your fun gets slowed down when you get a girlfriend, because they just don't have that concept of what's fun and what's not fun. So it's, and that transfers in the comedy. I'm not saying it's impossible for women to be funny. I'm just saying there's just a whole lot of them that just ain't. And I don't mean the girls that get on stage and try. I'm just talking about just in your everyday life.
Yeah.
You don't know a lot of girls that you just bump into and they'll just say something wonderful and funny.
I think to do comedy, it takes a certain amount of feeling like an underdog.
It takes your
it takes a certain type of person as well. A lot of people think they are funny, but until you actually go on stage and try a bit or try a joke,
there's not many girly girls that are funny.
If they are, I find they're playing a caricature.
They're
not being authentic.
Yeah, there's not many girly girls that are funny, because the thing is, with humor and comedy and stuff like that, it's a play on logic, and that's where humor comes from. It's like you take something that's logical, you put a twist on it, and that's where humor comes from. Mm-hmm. But if you're dealing with someone who bases their actions and their being and everything they do from an emotional standpoint, it's hard to pull, because when you add emotion,
it's not funny.
It's hard to pull humor out of someone who base their emotions and things like that on logic. It's hard to pull that out. It's hard to pull humor out of just emotion. So you have to start off with that's the reason why a lot of really funny comics are nerds, because they base things on logic, and you put a twist on it. Haha, there's your joke.
Which is why we're both nerds.
Exactly. Why did chicken cross the road to get to the other side? Oh, I get it. Like, little dumb shit like that. Like, that's the joke, is a little dumb twist, where, that's where humor comes from. But, since women do a lot of things based on their emotional state and how they're thinking at the time, you don't get that. So that's one of the reasons why, just in general, I'm not saying this. Again, I don't want to say that, because I get into arguments when I say girls ain't funny. It's always some guy, some soft dude. What do you mean girls ain't funny? I know a lot of funny girls.
Well, yeah, it's such a blanket statement too. You know
it sounds like a blanket statement.
And you're not saying it's a blanket statement. You're talking about in general, in terms of your everyday life.
In general. I'm not saying all girls ain't funny, because there's 1,000 women that I find funny. When there's a lot of comics I find funny as hell, but most of the women comics I see that are funny, they have due thought processes. Like they kind of do mentalities. Like they think like guys. A lot of them that are funny is that's just the same. Just any kind of thing. Like, I'll say this to try to make up for women, then we'll cut. But like, there's just certain things that guys are just naturally going to be a little better at, like comedy. Then there's a lot of things that women are just going to naturally be better at. Like, say for instance, being a nurse. I'm not saying guys can't be nurses. I'm just saying, on a natural thing, women are really good at being a nurse. Like, say, you spend time in hospitals, right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure you have a lot of equipment to let me know you spend some time in hospitals. I have too.
Not recently, but yeah.
But you've been there.
Yeah.
So, like, say for instance, if you're in the hospital bed, and the doctor comes up to you, and the doctor says, "Look, I've given you all the medication I can give you for your condition. We've done all the surgeries. We've done all the procedures. We've done everything on our end for you to pull through this. I got you to about 75%. Mm-hmm. For you to get to this 100, it has to come from within. You got to want to fight to stay alive over these next few days, right? It has to be from you. We've already done the medication. It's doing what it has to do. The surgeons have already been going through. They went successful. This last piece has to come from you, right? That's what the doctor tells you. He leaves the room. And imagine fucking Jason the nurse comes in, tell you to fight. You ain't gonna make it if Jason the nurse comes in. But say for instance, if Peggy, like early 40s white lady comes in, and then
with like the bun or some shit.
Yeah, the bun. Like, she's early 40s. She's like been through it. She comes in wearing Crocs and like that, and like that burgundy and like the burgundy scrubs. And Peggy, Peggy's a nice nurse name. Peggy comes in and says,
"Yeah, it's an old school name.
Dave, you got it. You go like her, Dave. Like, you want some soup?" You'll fucking make it if Peggy the nurse walks in and wants you to fight. You'll stay alive for Peggy. Jason walks in, you fucking toast. You ain't gonna make it. If Jason the nurse walks in. I'm not saying Jason can't change the IV as good as Peggy can, but Peggy got that extra something on in her to make you keep going. Jason's dumbass will give you a walk it off speech. And you're in the hospital.
He's trying to give you like a football speech.
It won't work.
He's trying to be Ray Lewis from like the latest Madden game.
It won't work. You need Peggy the nurse to pull you through that. And that's just something that's just women are just naturally better at doing. They're naturally better at just holding your hand and make you feel better on the inside. That's something women have. Guys don't have that. I can't hold your hand and make you feel better. You'll die if it was up to me. It's like, and not on purpose. It's just, I don't know how to pull that out of you. I'm a dude. I don't know how to do that. But an older white lady, perfect. Like she's perfect at that. And that's just what they're naturally able to do. You know, that kind of, you know, like women are way better at doing that than guys. They just are. I'm not saying guys can't be nurses, but if I had to pick one, I want that lady. I want that lady to bring me all my food. I want her to change my IVs. That's what I want. I don't want fucking Jason with his heavy ass hands changing out my needles. I don't need him.
Goes back to the nurturing aspect of it as well. We could talk about this literally all fucking day. Shout out to anybody who's a nurse named Jason or a nurse named Peggy.
Fuck Jason the nurse. No. No. Shout out to Peggy, not Jason. I don't want him as a nurse.
Fuck it.
I'm not saying guys can't be nurses.
Well, Jason decided to become a nurse, so he knew what he was getting into. So
he knew it, but he knew it. But I want Peggy. I don't want Jason. I'm good. Because I want to be able to walk out the hospital. To me and Peggy, I was like, I got it. She's like, oh, yeah. Jason doesn't give a fuck. Jason texting bitches while he's trying to help me out. I don't need him. I'm good.
This has been episode 15 of the Squeaky Unclean podcast. Gad Holland, good to have you, buddy.
I hate you still.
I know you hate me, but you got a chance to get some of it out of your system.
Let's go to the mall and go get some poontang because you have to make up.
Some poontang or some poutine because you
we can get both. Trust me, we never got into my rotation, so we can do that.
No, you have to teach me your ways, Jedi Master.
I got you.
All right, man. Thank you very much, Squeak Weeks, for listening very much. Also, shout out to Wayne Bowles Jr. as well. He was one of those funny guys in our life, especially the comics here in Windsor. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna air the segment with just me talking about some stories about Wayne, and I'm gonna play the podcast where he was on. So thank you so much for listening, guys.
See you, Wayne, man. I miss you, man. You was a good guy.
Absolutely, and shout out to his family as well. We're gonna be having a couple charities for Wayne's family, and donating pretty much all the proceeds to the family. Family who I had the privilege to know, and a guy who I got to know in a short span of time.
Yeah, for the Santa roast that we were gonna do, Wayne wanted to be a Grinch.
Mm-hmm.
So just in honor of him, I'm gonna wear a green wristband from like on my costume.
I think we could all wear green wristbands or something. It could be an idea.
Okay.
I know somebody who could steal some.
Well, I
know somebody who can steal some shit.
I had a lovely little white girl make me one, like the rainbow bands.
Okay,
so I'm wearing that green one for him.
We'll tell her to start outsourcing them and make 8 more or some shit. I don't know.
I mean, I could talk her into it. She's a nice gal. I could probably tell her to do it.
Oh, there you go. Maybe if she's funny, then definitely,
She's 10. I don't think she's that funny, but she can make bands like she can make bands like nobody's business.
Very good. Okay, we're not promoting sweatshop labor. Anyway,
it's not sweatshop. She lives in the suburbs. She has a nice family. She's an amazing dancer, but she I'm wearing one now. I'm wearing a purple and gold one for my fraternity's colors. So I had her make me a couple of them, and green's my favorite color, so I made her make 2 of them for me.
We're gonna do something for his family. You guys will hear a bit more about it. Thanks so much for listening. I hope I know we kept your attention. If not, then I don't really give a fuck. You were kind of a shitty. You were busy or doing something else. You'll come back to this at some point when you finish whatever task you're doing.
That's nice for all that evil to come out you at the end of the podcast.
I'm sure it was important, and obviously it's complete sarcasm. But anyways, you guys.
Whatever you was listening, I was interesting. You want, just. What are we doing? Yeah, well, follow me on Twitter. You got Holland.
Yeah. Oh, please
just
check.
Keep searching like my first and last name. You'll find me.
It's GAD Holland, like the country. HOLLAND. He's always at the Comedy Quarry. He's always performs in Toledo. He's got a radio show. This man's a pilot. I don't know how comfortable that makes me feel.
What you mean?
I don't know that you're. I don't know.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I've never.
Explain this right now.
I saw the movie Flight, dog.
He didn't crash?
I know he didn't crash, but I don't like airplanes, bro.
And black people in airplanes?
I don't like airplanes.
Or black people in airplanes?
I don't like airplanes.
That's it?
I haven't been on an airplane since 99.
Why not?
Because I haven't been on an airplane since 99.
Yeah, but why?
Because I'm very broke, Gad. I live in Windsor.
Okay, all right. Well, shit. I
I'm
thought you had some kind of some kind of stance against airplanes. I know it's a fight.
I don't like airplanes.
Financial thing. So wait. If you had money, you still wouldn't get on an airplane?
I don't know. I don't like airplanes. I don't like going through fucking. You know what? That's a rant for later.
You know what? You know, putting this wheelchair through security probably would be some shit.
It's a bitch because obviously the metal detector.
Metal.
It's all gonna go off. I have metal in my arm, my plate, my dick. It's just crazy. So,
yep, you have metal in your dick.
I wish.
Oh, I thought you did. I was like, oh, you're a
See,
superhero.
when I talk about tearing the pussy up, it means actually.
Dude, you would be an amazing villain. Yeah, metal in your dick.
I would be an awesome villain. I'd
metallic fucker or something. Be the shit.
Metallic fucker.
You'd be the best villain ever.
That's the next sketch.
Be a villain that robs banks and gets bitches.
That'd be the shit. That's pretty much what all villains strive for.
Just lay your dick on the table. Put all the money in the bag, Frank.
Good thing Magneto's not around from X-Men because that would not.
He would throw you around by your dick.
I know. That's like terrible.
That would be mean. He'd push your chair away just with his brain.
Would. I'd have to get fucking, I don't know, whatever repulses. I've had 5 hours of sleep, you guys. I can't think of whatever metal blocks or whatever magnetic forces block. Anyways, thanks so much for listening, guys. Like I said, if you got a chance to, that's cool. We'll post this online. We'll post the Wayne Bowles thing. Please donate to his family. I posted it on my Facebook, David Squeaky Wheels on Facebook, davidsqueakywheels.com, all that good stuff. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. And there's nothing wrong.
Did I come off as an ass today? I think I did. I did.
You did. Fuck it. We'll let them decide. It's what they do. Anyways, take care, guys. Peace.